call the meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. We can start with the approval of the agenda. Does anybody have anything they need to add? Otherwise, if somebody'd like to move approval of the agenda, we can move to approve it. Move to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have an agenda. The consent agenda was in your packet. If somebody would like to make a motion regarding that.
So move.
Motion to approve by Ed, second by Dawn. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have our consent agenda approved. All right, moving on to new business. The first one is microphone and speaker system.
So during some of the meetings, we've noticed that people have stated they're having trouble hearing some of the discussion, hearing some of the people that are talking. So we'd like to go out for an RFP to have someone come look at the acoustics in the room, give us some quotes on what it would take to microphone and make sure if our speakers that are in here will work or not, or just have somebody look at the room and tell us what could be done with it.
So we need approval of
To go out.
To go
sending out the
for
RFP.
Yep.
Yes.
And the bids won't cost any money, or I don't know, do bids cost money?
Not
This
generally,
one
no,
shouldn't.
it's
Okay.
people that come back to us and say, hey, we're interested in
We can
looking
do
at
it for
your
this
stuff.
amount.
And then once we have the bids, it would come back.
Right, and it would be good to know if it's a $50 fix or a $50,000 fix.
Correct.
All right. Motion by Kelly, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Martha. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor of the RFP, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the list is City of Winthrop rentable land.
So we have two plots that are currently rented out by individuals. Bartles has one and Three Tree Farming has the other. They've never really been looked at by council as far as if you want to continue doing that. Do you want them to continue going to that same person or see if anyone else is interested? We did recently, what happens is we invoice them for the tax portion of the land, and that is their rent. And we're just wondering if you want us to look into how other cities are doing it, or if you want any changes.
Okay, so this is just an informational thing tonight, but does anybody have any thoughts about it or questions they would like staff to follow
Did
up
something
with?
happen that?
No,
this-
they were being charged the tax portion up until 21, and then magically, because of loss of staff, we didn't know that was happening, and it was found, and they are now getting charged exactly what they were before, according to what was found. We didn't go back and charge them the back years, but just wondering what you want to do with that.
Is it legal to gain revenue off of those plots of land?
It's not really revenue, it's covering the taxes on the
Right,
land
but
there.
if we build them a rent amount.
Yeah, I mean, I think the question is, can we charge them rent?
Right.
Yeah, do they, so they don't pay rent per se?
No, they just cover the tax portion. And it's not the entire tax portion, it's the taxes before, there's a certain name for it and it's skipping me right now. But it's not the whole tax bill for the property, it's just a portion.
I would think the city could, I mean, the EDA charges rent and building lien.
Why wouldn't we be able
Businesses-
to?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, It's a
I
good
think that'd be
question.
something
Maybe
to find out what current rent rates are, and if we can charge rent, then maybe we look at that
In
option.
addition to taxes or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, it would be- I
Well,
would like to
usually-
find out what other
Yeah.
cities are
Others,
doing
yeah.
and,
Typically, we pay the taxes and so on, but then we
Yeah.
charge rent to cover all of that.
I'm not sure if it's some of the stuff I'm thinking about is probably not the best land, cause I think it floods sometimes, am I thinking of
I
the?
think, yeah, a couple of them, or a
Maybe
couple
by the
spots.
windmill, but out by,
You know,
One is
but-
by the windmill, yep, and the other one's out by the industrial park.
that would be all right. You're thinking
So-
of down below here.
Yeah, I could be, yeah. So, I mean, maybe we should get some more information.
Yeah,
Okay.
Does anybody have any specific questions?
What are they using the land for now? Like, are they using the land?
Yeah, they're
They're
farming
farming.
it.
They're all farming.
Yeah, so-
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, I would think if,
So they're getting income from the land.
mhm.
yeah, I would be curious what other cities do, what that land, you know, if it was privately owned, what would that rent for?
Right. Okay.
Okay, any other
Most definitely.
questions on that? Then we can move on to the next one, budget questions and updates. What you got for us, Heather?
So this is just kind of an update. The League of Minnesota Series insurance came back. After raising our deductible, it saved us about $4,500 a year. At the time that this was built, the police financial support was not announced yet, but we did get a number back on that, and we're currently going through and comparing it to past history to kind of predict for '26 what we think we're gonna get,
When do you expect that?
probably by next meeting. Also, we got back with the league giving back the insurance stuff, we can go through and figure out, allocate to the different categories, what effect it's gonna have compared to last year.
You mean the rebates we get back or
No,
the
for the-
adjusted? Okay,
For the property
okay.
that we saved the $4,500 on,
But what did we raise our deductible by?
2,500, I think. I think it was 2,500 and we went up to 5. I believe. I'd have to double check that though.
Did
Okay.
they raise it?
No, we asked for
tried to lower the
quotes both
premium.
ways.
Okay.
So we saved $4,500 a
Right.
year. But if we have a claim,
It's
we're
gonna
really
cost
only
us
gonna come out,
Yeah.
$2,000.
yeah,
Yep.
which is still $2,000, but it's not quite as great as it looks at first glance.
And then many counties and cities around Minnesota are continuing to see the pressures of the decreased revenues and increased in insurance costs and everything else. So just a reminder that what we set in September was the prelim, and we still have until December to do the final.
And I've kind of been watching I haven't seen any smaller cities that are under 10%. Some of the larger cities are in single digits, but they're still
They have a huge,
8, 9, 10%. And, you know, for them, 1% is a much bigger number than it is for us.
yeah, I think the highest one I saw was 50 on a prelim,
That was
50%.
approved as yes.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some pretty big numbers. Does anybody have any other questions about the budget? And it is, for anybody who's interested, it is posted on the website, so people can look at the budget in its current, state, if you wanna weed through it, if you like numbers, there's lots of them there.
And it does say right on the website that it's preliminary, correct, thank you.
Yes. Okay, so we're done with that, moving on to 4.4, GFW schools request. That was a well-written letter, it's pretty pointed,
Mhm.
and it went to all the important people.
Yep.
Saw that.
So that's the letter that they are sending or sent out, and we're just asking to write a letter supporting their, basically backing and reiterating that we care about our children and our people that are coming to our school, and that zone in front of the school needs to be a school zone and slow the traffic down.
Just as an observer from the outside, it does not make our MnDOT district look good, that they're not actively doing something to fix that. So, council, what are your wishes? Do you want to sign on to the letter in support of the GFW request from MinDOT?
Absolutely, I make a motion.
Motion by Ed, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Ed, second by Dawn. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So I would assume that'll get put together and sent out shortly. All right, 4.5, the public open forum, an informational item at this point.
So we received a couple of requests, one from Counselor Salmon and one from resident Tom Whitaky, requesting to review the public open forum that was retired back in December. As it was previously discussed and changed in our charter, these rules and procedures were put back in. Also, the League of Minnesota Cities guide was sent out with the packet for review as well. And I don't know if Salmon wants to take this one since she requested being put on the,
Yeah, I would love to, thank you, Heather. I thought it was January though that we got rid of it, not December, 'cause-
it was
Yeah.
voted on in December.
It was? I thought we passed
City
it.
councilor.
Okay.
Cause I thought I
You were
voted against
here
it
when
and
we
I
did
was
that.
on
Oh, I thought it
council,
was December. Anywho,
but maybe I was
We had,
elected
we
and
had, we had talked about it.
the first meeting without it, I believe, was January, but I believe it was voted on in December. I could
thought
be
so,
wrong
but
though.
Yeah, I kind of blurs together, because I know we talked to, you know, the city attorney, and we got different, gathered a lot of information, so. It's, anyway, it's been within the last year, give or take.
Okay. Regardless, I did a little background research and it was included in my email to Michael, but I thought I would read it, to get on record. I have at our January meeting, but, maybe it was December. The city council voted to eliminate the public forum portion of our agenda. This ended a 100-year tradition of Winthrop governance and something nearly every city in Minnesota still takes pride in. The mayor's stated intent, I believe, was to encourage residents to put more thought into their issues, submit them in advance to the city administrator, so as to allow the council to be better prepared for discussion. In practice, however, it has had the opposite effect. Fewer citizens are attending, and overall engagement with city government has dropped. Many residents that come and talk to me personally don't see why they should bother when a simple idea now requires formal wording, formatting, deadlines, and the very real possibility of being denied being on the agenda altogether. The public forum has always been an important outlet for everyday people to speak directly to their elected officials. Sometimes it wasn't polished, sometimes it was a little loud, but it was real, and it gave neighbors the chance to be heard. And what I've heard over the past 9 months is this: I would rather hear people stumbling through their words or criticizing me personally or the rest of us than not hear from them at all. And I think I think it shows more transparency, more commitment by the council, and just an openness to listen. And I think the people that come here know that, you know, we can't like you've said, Mayor, that they can't be responded to right then when they speak during a public forum.
Yes, which
And
is,
I think most people that speak do know that, and, you know, they would know that again. So, anyway, those were my thoughts. A lot of people come in and talk to me when I'm at work, which is fine, but, they want a council that is more open, they want a council that listens, and it's easier to approach and talk to. And I really think the public forum was a great way to do that. And I would love to see it be reinstated. So those are my thoughts.
Okay. Well, let's see. I think I would just like to give some clarification, that one of the biggest pushes to go with this format was the timeliness of issues. Because if someone brought an issue to, the public forum, as a council, we aren't able to respond to that at all at that meeting. It can't be discussed, we can't have a back and forth with that individual. So if they came to a meeting on October 1st, it may have been the most legitimate complaint or issue that needed attention. It could not receive our attention until the November meeting. And that's a long lag time. The hope was, by asking people to bring things for the agenda, that if they had something that was pressing, they could come, ask to be on the agenda, and we could discuss it, we can have a back and forth conversation, and we could act on it at that November, or that October 1st meeting, and there wouldn't be that at least 30-day delay. So I think that was one of the biggest things, because that was a very big frustration for me, was that we would talk to people, or we would hear from them, and the appearance to the public was that we said,
We didn't care. We're not
because we
listening.
couldn't respond.
That is so frustrating.
I-
And people would come here and we'd be set up in a way to make us look really stupid as counselors. We're not saying anything. And that was really unfair to the city, I think. I like the open public forums, I do. But you made the remark that most cities still do it. I don't believe most cities still do it. I know most school boards no longer do it because it just got too out of hand. It seems to me that when we look into this, because that is a concern.
It is, and I think it's actually had the opposite effect though, because, like, somebody came in and told me that it's intimidating, it's intimidating going into City Hall and asking to be on the agenda, somebody told me. And, it's,
They don't specifically have to come into City Hall. They
No,
can
they could
email, they
present
can
it to
call,
any
they
of
can
us.
talk to a counselor. It's any way.
And I don't think an individual would even have to be here personally to bring up their
No.
agenda item if they didn't want to.
If they
could
felt
bring the
uncomfortable
issue.
out there, then I
They-
could
yeah.
definitely. I mean,
We
just
can
to bring
voice
it
our
up and
forum.
have some conversation about it.
it got me thinking about it again, because I loved the public forum during our work sessions. It was great hearing
Yes.
from people.
I thought that was
You know,
fantastic.
and I thought, it would be great to hear from people all the time again, and have more of an engagement, and.
But I think since I've been on here, anybody that has sat at that table, most of them on the open forum, have come up here and pretty much tried to pick us apart. And then we can't say anything. And again, like Kelly said, it makes us look bad. And so,
And it makes the
if they
city
would
look
come with a
unresponsive.
legitimate thing, but it's usually they're complaining about something. And it's something that maybe we can't fix right now, or, the budget or our taxes, where our taxes are right now. We're trying to lower those taxes. But if you're gonna come and sit here and say, well, your taxes are too high, or this or that, and we can't say anything back, but we're trying. So it does in ways make us look bad, that we can't come to you and say,
And
this is what we're working on.
Yes, we look bad, but it's not so much that we look bad, it looks like we don't know what's going on. We do, we wanna respond.
Yes.
It's so hard to sit here when you know what's being said isn't accurate, or it's not complete, it's out of context, things like that. That
And-
gets frustrating.
Just as background again, that was advice of our city legal counsel, that were advised to not respond at all, because if you respond to one person with one comment back, then, it opens it, and then if we don't respond to somebody else, we found ourselves in a bad position. So the advice of counsel, or legal counsel, was to not, just to listen. And you're right, that we were actively listening, but what I heard very often was that, well, you're just not listening, because we weren't able to respond.
And people have the impression now that we're not listening.
I've heard that
Yeah, that.
over and over. I don't know. I don't
think
know
that's
what
new.
we can do.
I would guess that when you were mayor many years
Yeah.
ago, you heard that.
We
then
tried
too.
having more public meetings that was needed. I mean, it's difficult to get people involved unless they're upset about something.
One of the other things that was a part of the discussion was when we have professionals here. We have engineers, we have people that we're paying by the
Right.
hour to be here. And there were many meetings that went 45 minutes or more until the business meeting started. And that's a long time to ask people to sit and wait when they're here and they've already put in their full professional day. And, you know, yes, we're paying them to be here, but it's still, this is a business meeting and it should move along in a timely manner. But I sort of got sidetracked because Tom Whitaky did ask to address the council if you wanna,
Yeah, because
Come on,
my
forward.
dad always says, if you don't vote, don't complain.
That's right.
So if you don't come to the council meetings and things keep changing, but I don't think you listen. I mean, I.
What do you mean by we don't listen?
Well, example, and I talk to Martha a lot. Martha listens.
Yeah.
But I feel that a whole bunch of this council represent a minute amount of people in the city. Because when they were doing Second Street, I asked the city administrator to please go talk to all the business people. And, because I did, and he didn't. And I asked him.
I'm gonna ask you right here, I'm more than happy to hear any comments we have, but those city staff are our employees, and we owe them the same responsibilities as their employer, as your employer would show you, or anyone else's employer would show them. And that is that we're not going to, say, well, this employee did that and they shouldn't have, or that employee didn't do that and they should have. So if you can address the council.
So if I asked you to go talk to the business I worked for 40 years has got a for sale sign on it right now.
Yes.
The $28,000 worth of assessments, and a lot of it had to do with, in the street and the sewer, we understood. The beautification, I don't know, you know where I stood on the beautification.
Yes.
You know where I stood on the splash pad. But $28,000, I talked to him personally. That business left town, it's still a business, it's not here. But how many more businesses can we lose?
How many more businesses have we gotten?
How many businesses have opening and are opening?
Our downtown's looking,
We heard it was gonna be the end when the store closed, but it's opened up again. I hate to see the pharmacy gone. That
was
was
sad.
really
That was
hard.
very sad.
Yeah, it was, but, I mean, does somebody it could be you, it doesn't have to be Michael. It could be you that go to talk to the business people to see, just for me, I went and had my teeth fixed again. I said, Dave, you should really go ask them for a handicap parking. He says, Tom, it doesn't pay. They don't care. So Dave Bankson is the largest private business on Second Street. Largest. They don't care if I have handicap parking. They didn't care if I have a handicap ramp. He came to the meetings. I came to the meetings. So,
I would
and then we
like-
say, I don't think you listen, that's what I mean.
We certainly did listen, and there is handicap parking there. There is more handicap parking.
In front of his business? In front of Dave's business.
He has more handicapped accessible parking than there was before the
It's
project.
over by the chiropractor, on the other side of the lot. That's the handicap parking.
Handicap parking is on a project like that, it is determined largely by MnDOT and the other road safety standards. From what I can recall, the handicap parking that was marked on the street previous to this project did not meet ADA standard for handicap parking. It may have been striped blue or marked handicapped, but just because it's marked that way does not make it ADA accessible. But there is.
And there was
we
none
did
put
listen.
in separately for the clinic. I mean, that's just a corner, all the corners had.
Yeah,
It
and all
has
the
to be
cars
somewhere
got it.
that, is
And
accessible to the
but I
sliding
mean,
doors.
sometimes it's,
Yeah.
maybe MnDOT says it. He was a large business, he asked for it, and we don't, and maybe he'll go away too. I hope not. I hope that Doc, he's 70 years old, he doesn't, but you know, we should try to cater to some of the, you know, or listen to him at least. And I know that Venetsky, because he told me personally, that the $28,000 assessments was, you know, it might have not been, it was close to the nail in the coffin. It was a tough.
Do you know that people didn't talk to the businesses downtown? Do you know that city staff or city council or EDA people did not talk to people
Everybody I
downtown?
talked to said that nobody ever came to talk to him. And the only person I asked to was the city administrator. I didn't know who else to ask.
Yeah, and that's,
I mean, I think the city administrator, but, you know, I mean, I got 2 houses in town, I pay taxes, just like you guys pay taxes. I hope you represent all of us, I'm hoping, you know, even if you don't like me, I still hope you represent me.
well, when you
You know-
say we represent a minute part, everybody was elected to be
The
on.
splash pad got railroaded through, and it was a minute part.
No, I'm not talking about the splash pad. You're saying that we don't represent the majority.
So, that's what I actually feel, and that's why I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here because I feel like I'm not getting represented.
Right.
And I know that, when I know, I said, well, maybe we have to look at, maybe we have to share with Sibley County, or if our police department, we can't afford as much of
Mayor,
that.
Yeah, we are going to stay focused on, the issue on the agenda is the public forum.
Okay.
So,
But I mean,
you know, we have to stay.
But I guess that's the biggest thing is, I mean, and go to Gibbon. When I came and talked to Heather on Friday at 11 o'clock and asked to be on the forum, there were 2 cars on Main Street. 2. The bank is open, both banks are open, 2 cars. Go to Gibbon. I go to Gibbon, 10, 15 cars. I mean, we got a lot of part-time businesses. I'm glad there's part-time business and not empty stores. But I don't know as far as, other than Martha, that I feel comfortable to come and talk to.
I've come to your house and have talked to you.
You did.
I mean.
And I appreciate
We
that.
try to listen, and unfortunately, sometimes we don't always agree with what's going on. And don't think we don't care, gosh, I mean, I care.
But I represent, and I
Right.
said it many times when I've been up here, I represent the Grandma Keens, my mom, all the older widows in town that live on Social Security, that don't have, you know, whatever Social Security gives us, it gets eaten up pretty much by whatever their coverages go. So if we decide to raise the city bill 50 or 80 bucks, and maybe Ed's well off, and maybe, you know, but when they can't, they're trying to figure out how they can pay for groceries, and they live from check to check, we have to represent them people too. And there's a lot of them in town. A
So
lot of them.
how is it different for you as a citizen? Why was it more cumbersome for you to request to be on the agenda tonight and know that we can have this back and forth, as opposed to just showing up tonight and making your
We
statement?
are actually talking back and forth, and you wouldn't respond before, you said.
Exactly,
I mean,
couldn't.
I know, and I understand that.
So you would have had 2 minutes to make your statement, and that would have been the end of it. This, you know, this is a give and take, an exchange, and so what I'm asking you is, why is the public forum, where you're limited in the amount of time and we can have no give and take, why is that preferable to requesting to be on the agenda like this and having a discussion?
Yeah, I think that, yeah, I got on, and I appreciate it that I got on. I don't think that, for a lot of people, it isn't that easy to, okay, what are you gonna say? Don't say, you can only say one thing, or you can't say anything
Well,
more than that.
that's with anything, you know, if Dawn requested an item to be on the agenda and we started discussing it and, you know, she suddenly had a list of 10 other things, that's not on our agenda. We have to stay with what's listed as that agenda item. So at this moment, it's discussing the public forum. So that applies to us as well
So,
as
I
the
mean, if
public.
you, like Megan was on the council and she was elected, and sometimes she thought that some people here just wanted to get done. They didn't care. They just wanted to get done. I mean, they didn't care They're, you know, because it ran a half hour longer or 45 minutes longer, well, that's maybe part of the job.
It
You know
is.
what I'm saying?
I
And
would
if
never
you
even
don't want,
consider
you
it
know,
right
and that's, so, that's, if you don't wanna do that part of it,
And when I was talking about time, that was really related to the professionals that we have to be here, that we ask to be here. You know, and some of it's our city staff, if the, you know, if the street guys are here, or the fire chief is here, or the police chief, or the engineers, you know, that's all time that we're asking them to spend an extra 45 minutes at what is supposed to be a business meeting. And if you're on the agenda, then it's legitimately part of that business meeting agenda.
yeah.
One other thing you said, and this is really hard too for us, is that if there's an issue with one of the employees, I mean, we certainly can't talk about that publicly. And people, I think, get the impression because they don't read about anything in the paper, blah, 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 we didn't do anything. We can't talk about what we do. You can't make public whatever, how we're handling that. The data privacy, I mean, we just can't say things like that. I mean, any other business too, they're not going to allow you to hear what you did to your buddy that got wrote up for something. I mean, and that's hard, because I love to say, well, yeah, we did listen, we did do this, and hopefully things will get better. What was the idea that was kicked around about before the meeting?
We did talk about that, having a listening session before the meeting, which would, you know, allow people to bring things to the council, discuss with us directly, you know, and then we would start the meeting at 7 with the business meeting and follow the agenda as presented.
But give people an opportunity to come in and
Yeah, and we, you know, we could certainly consider that. I still think requesting to be on the agenda is the most efficient way to do it. If you have something that needs attention, there should be no reason that someone wouldn't want to be on the agenda and have it addressed as, you know, efficiently and quickly as possible. And I would just like to make clear to anybody here and anybody who's listening to this meeting that if you approached one of us or city staff with a request for the agenda, I can guarantee you would not be denied attention. There is a possibility when we came up with this policy that if your question had to do with, let's say, a pothole in front of your street, or let's use that might go to the streets committee first, because they can address it more efficiently than the entire council can. But that doesn't mean that your request isn't receiving the most efficient, appropriate attention. And I would just like to reiterate, I don't think we would deny any request to be on the agenda. And people don't have to have any special, you know, it doesn't have to follow a certain format. We just need to know what your request is, and, you know,
or what the
who's making the
grievance
request.
is, and it could be discussed here, even if it's in letter form. Because to me, it'd be harder to be sitting out there, where you are, than it is just to request to get this on the agenda.
Well, and we've had people write in before that we've read their stuff without releasing their
Yeah.
name, just
Yes,
so
we have.
council can talk about it. It's not even that you have to be here, it's
Right.
just, council can't respond unless it's on the agenda.
Sure.
As a for instance, Tom, you brought this up, you asked to be on the agenda, it's on the agenda. In our agenda packet, each one of us got the informational memo from the League of Minnesota Cities that is, well, yeah, 18 from 65, 40-some pages long, that, you know, we had the opportunity to read through, so we had some background knowledge on the subject. So we can talk about it in a more formal matter, instead of just off the cuff. Well, you're right, I don't wanna, because blah, you know? No, we have the information in front of us that we read or could have read that says, this is why we're doing it the way we're doing it. You know, these are the reasons why we have emergency meetings, closed meetings. I mean, there's a whole, like I said, 40 pages of it just about.
I agree, it was hard to stop that open public forum. And I think we all struggled with that.
But it felt like we had a voice. And I quit coming to the meetings, and I told you I quit, and you saw I quit, because I just didn't feel like it mattered. And but when I get 2 tax statements, and I look at what's happening, and it's not gonna be just Winthrop, it's gonna be the county, it's gonna be the school, it's gonna be, you know, it all has consequences, and, you know, I hope that when you're thinking about, and I should have been at the budget meetings.
We
Okay, I
did,
don't
we had
but-
really good input.
Yeah, and I
We
should have
had
been there, and
great results.
I don't understand where, but I can learn. I could learn, you know, but honestly, the one I really feel that I could talk to is Martha, and probably you, Kelly. Otherwise, I don't think the rest of you really care, honestly, what I have to say.
We've had
And then-
discussions over the past year, and you referenced Bankston's. I spoke to Dr. Bankston and Mrs. Bankston numerous times over the last year. So, you know, we do listen, we want input. I wrote a column for the paper that should come out this week. It clearly says, here's my phone number, here's my email. Please let me know what you think. Your other council people, their email is available on our website. Let us know what you think. It's
So
kind of
if I would have
shocking.
put that in a statement, and when I asked him, or you, or whoever, to go, before they did Second Street, to go talk to them people, because I went up and down the street just as a business person or ex-business person, and asked them, it was sad that they said that, no, I mean, from the bank to the pharmacy was still going then, to the other bank, to Bankston, to the Winthrop Telephone Company, nobody from the city came and talked to them.
So, you know, I would push back on that a little bit because I spoke to some of them. It may not have been that I walked in during business hours and said, I'm specifically here to talk about Second Street. We had numerous public meetings. There were, you know, and they were specifically invited to those. That was when we had engineers and staff and plenty of time for input. There were numerous opportunities that we asked people for input and said, please tell us what you think.
I did input a lot, and it
And-
never
and
did
that
do any
was
good,
good.
but I did input a lot.
We-
I guess I got lip service, but I did.
And I think maybe that's something that, you know, we all do this because we're all human, but just because the council's action doesn't follow what citizen A wanted them to do, doesn't mean that we didn't listen to, or we didn't listen to citizen A or liked citizen B better. We're charged with making the best decision we can about whatever is in front of us. And so I would just like to say that we do listen. We listen and we solicit input from people whenever we can. And we want that. And I think part of the hope of having people on the agenda is that it does give you the opportunity to interact more with us and to address an issue much more efficiently.
But if you have skin in the game, like I got 2 houses, but I mean, a lot of people that even work here, they do not even, they don't live here. I mean, that's
And they don't
sad,
have
but
to.
I mean.
But we all do. The council who
No, you
vote,
don't. He doesn't. She
we're the ones,
doesn't.
We can't
we're the
make that
ones who make the
mandatory.
decisions.
Yeah.
The council is what, the city staff doesn't vote, the council votes. We're the one that adopt the budget. We're the ones that, you know, we make the decisions. It comes back here to us. You know where we all live, we're your neighbors. And we do, I ask people all the time, you know, what did you think about this? How are you feeling about that project?
Well,
So-
unfortunately, Martha's the one who gets the brunt of all my talk, because she's there, and I know she listens. So, and I hope that, I mean, I'm for opening it up again, I honestly am.
Do-
And I know it's tough for you guys not to talk, but, I mean, even if you can't, you still have, if you could take it, and I could give you my phone number too, and then after you look into it, you could get back to me.
So given a choice though, you would still prefer a public forum where you had a limited 2 minutes to speak and no feedback for at least a month over requesting to be on the agenda and presenting your issue to the council?
I get, unless there's an easy, maybe you could do something beforehand, whatever's
Are
easiest.
you talking about before the meeting, if we open the meeting, or not open the meeting, but 15 minutes before the meeting if people had concerns?
Yeah, that'd be awesome, something, you know, I mean, but to say, okay, what's your action item? I got a lot of things I'd like to talk about, but what's your action item? So that tells me I can say, what? What can I say?
Well,
So I
whatever
have to
you
say tonight
want,
only about
but isn't
one
that
thing.
you, we came in here
Yeah,
for
I
the
know you
open
can't be
public
all-
forum, I mean,
Yeah,
that's what we're,
honestly.
and I asked you for examples, and you gave me some.
I've been here for 40 years. If you think downtown is great, you didn't, you had no idea what it was like 40 years ago, or 20 years ago. Well, you've been here.
Yeah, but I don't see that in many towns anymore. I mean, we've become, and that's bothered me since the 80s, we've become so regional. We shop regional.
Yeah, and we haven't even lost the school yet, which is one of the biggest businesses that's gonna leave town shortly. I mean, that's the
beyond our
electrical, it's all the water, think about it. It's gonna be a huge.
Oh, we've thought about
Yeah,
it,
Yeah.
and we've
But you know
tried,
what?
we've tried to keep.
I went to the meeting, I've been going to the meetings, I went to the meeting out there and Michael and the former mayor, and they were all hoping up and how thought it was great that, to go to Gibbon. And after the meeting was over at the Berdan Center, I says, congratulations, you just lost the
Just wait a
biggest
minute,
business.
you said, I thought it was a good idea.
No, the former mayor, not you.
Oh,
I know.
I was gonna say, I thought.
No, not you.
They're getting off
Edwards.
topic again,
Okay.
so let's
Well,
go back
as
to
I
the
said, it's
public
an action
forum.
item, I don't know what I can talk.
So,
But I still, somebody who's still, and I guess I was told I can leave. We can leave Winthrop.
Well, yeah, what should-
I mean,
That
yeah,
would
but I mean,
never come from a
that's a
council or
hurtful
staff
thing when it
person.
says, well, if you don't like it, you can leave, or imply that you can leave.
I would truly hope that that never came from a
Yeah.
council or staff person. I don't think that, none of
It's
us would
always
say
an
that
option,
to a
so.
resident. Well, it is, I mean, and people can choose that, but that would not have come from a council person.
so could we have this like 15 minutes before? Cause I think that sounds like a great idea, and then people can still get on the agenda if they want to,
Yes,
right? I mean,
yes.
if we
Not that
go.
night, I mean.
Right,
Well, if they
right, not
requested
that
it
night, but
3
if you
days
re-
before.
If you
Oh,
request
yeah,
it
yeah, you
early,
still do, it's just.
you can get on the agenda, or, we can,
But,
But
you
the
know,
thing
when
that I'm
7
gonna
o'clock
worry about
starts, we
with
have
doing
to
that
start.
15 minutes, now we have 10 people that come to the open forum, and we gotta cut it off at 15
I
minutes.
have looked, I
And
do-
now we're gonna have 9 people mad, or let's say 5 people mad because they didn't get to do the open forum.
I did,
Then they're gonna say something like, well, I didn't even get to talk, they only gave us 15 minutes.
I did a lot of reading, and there are a lot of cities that have listening sessions, and they're very delineated. They have, at 7 o'clock, or whatever time their meeting starts, the business meeting starts. If people are still waiting to speak, they're first on the list for the following meeting. But, it's pretty hard and fast that when 7 o'clock rolls around, that's when the business meeting starts, because that is the purpose of
Right.
a council meeting.
We understand that.
yeah.
But, I mean, there's, and I believe me, I spent a lot of times in a lot of meetings, and sometimes it doesn't, you'd like to be home at a certain time, and you'd like to be that, but that's life, I mean, if you're signed up
I
for being
guess
on
I've
the.
never noticed that, I don't know, I mean,
We-
people trying to hurry
We
up
were here
and
until
make decisions.
10 o'clock on a couple of those budget meeting nights.
Oh.
I think we all put in.
Shoot, we used to be here till 1 o'clock when Pooh was in there.
Oh, I'm sure you were.
Yeah.
Took a
But I was so proud of Pete, and Pete was so proud, so I've been in town a long time, I kinda understood what was going on, and, that's a different, how did we get to where we are today, I don't know,
Well,
hopefully we can figure it out.
We do appreciate feedback from residents, and of any and all opinion. We're not afraid of, and we don't even agree as a council all the time. We did. We don't
Well, you're
need
married,
to.
right?
No,
You're married, right?
No, we always, no.
so we do
So-
welcome input from people.
Yeah, Tom, call me. Stop and talk to me. If you feel like I'm not listening, hit me in the head, do something.
Don't say that, cause
I-
the cop's right there.
I gave him
You
permission.
told him, Logan, you heard, you said, I can assume. It's just like I can
I,
assume.
I want you to know that
You're bigger than
I wanna listen, I wanna be just like, you go to Martha, come to me. Don't stop going to Martha, come to me too.
Kelly's
And just
on-
like he said, go to him.
Kelly's on the way to my kids, so I know where he lives.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
yes. So that was technically an informational
Yes.
Right,
item.
but I think we should talk about that,
Okay,
get on the agenda.
all right. We'll give that some due consideration. Then we can move on to committees, admin and EDA. Do you have any updates from Michael?
No, we're just finishing up, finalizing budget things, and Michael, I'm sure, has a lot to report, but I don't have any of it, so,
Michael's gonna need a vacation from vacation.
right,
When does he get back?
tomorrow, he'll be back tomorrow.
And I would just
We
like
have
to,
an admin meeting next week, right?
yes, I think so. I would like to thank the city staff for all the hours that have gone into the budget planning so far, because that's never a quick and easy task, but it's been really, really detailed this year, and I appreciate all the hours and deep dives and, you know, moving things around to see what this, you know, if you change this input, what happens there, so thank you very much. Utilities. Martha, do you have anything? from-
I was not able to get to the MMP meeting.
Okay.
This month, though, I think.
All right, so that, I don't assume we have anything else for
Just
utilities?
Public Works has been, in case anyone's wondering, the digging up of Main
Oh, yeah, I was
Street.
gonna ask about that.
So they are, running wire for the streetlights that needed repair,
Ah,
because they were broken off underground. So they're working on that, I'm working on getting streetlights done,
okay.
amongst other fall projects like sweeping and all kinds of.
Stuff. There's no leaves at all out by my house. Every time they come by with a sweeper, I'm like, oh, leaves, just, trees, just hold on to your leaves for a few more minutes, so. They could just make an endless loop around our block. Fire department.
They had their open house, this
Oh,
last
yes.
weekend. And we're still getting some envelopes in for donations. They're doing their pizza delivery nights this Friday, from 4:30 PM to 7:30 PM, and then they'll check fire, fire alarms.
Oh, okay.
Smoke detector, you know
Thank
that.
you, those things.
That's a neat program.
What time was that from?
4:30 PM to 7:30 PM.
Okay. Thank you.
I might need them, my smoke alarm was beeping when I got home today. Library.
Yeah, the library board met on September 15th, and we are working on an update to the bylaws. Also, Bob Moreland is stepping down at the end of the year, so we are looking for at least one new board member. October 19th through 25th is National Friends of the Library Week. We'll have a silent auction to raise money for non-budgeted items. And this month is Mental Health Awareness Month at the library, so there's all kinds of really nice programs going on at the library.
Good. Any questions about the library for Martha? Public Works, I think Heather addressed
Oh, yeah.
that. Planning Commission, I don't think there's.
No,
No.
nothing.
RS Fiber, we have not had a meeting. Ed, ambulance, got anything?
Nothing significant.
Okay.
Just still plugging away.
Police, Logan, you got any?
Yeah, so recently I applied for a grant through the Chiefs of Police Association. It's a community grant, so to interact with the community. So I'm trying to put that together right now of what our game plan is going to be. Still preliminary with, we don't know if we've gotten the grant yet, but we should know fairly soon. And tentatively, we're looking at like a slice and slide with the cops, utilizing Conklin Hill, and then teaming up with the Pizza Corner too. So hoping that goes through, also weather depending, unfortunately. So hopefully we get some good snow.
Are you wishing for snow?
Yeah, for that day.
Okay, one day, all right.
In addition to that, I think it's really important that we recognize the work that Nick is doing with Canine Nash. In the last month, he has seized over 600 grams of methamphetamine and nearly 10 grams of fentanyl just in the last month.
Where?
Here in Winthrop?
All over. Winthrop, local drug task force, drugs are movable. So maybe it, wasn't within the city limits, but it's close by.
Yeah,
And,
street value on something like that is what?
a lot.
That's a lot.
So the K-9 would get called in by the
He
sheriff?
was already
or by-
working, but yeah.
Okay, that's,
Yeah, it was a really good team effort, and I'm just really proud of them. They're putting in a lot of good work, and this is why we did this program. You know, thanks to you guys and allowing it, we're literally saving lives because of it.
And the
And we're
citizens.
never gonna be able to quantify that, because we have prevented it before it could happen. So, it's very important work. It's a thankless job from time to time, so I have to take the opportunity when I can to
Yes.
thank him and Nash for doing a really good job.
And you know, and the word gets out there. Once those people that are dealing all these drugs and they know that they're getting busted over here or
Yeah.
getting arrested, they're not gonna be moving over here either.
We've experienced it just in our own community of people dying from overdoses. Like I said, drugs are movable. They are here. And we're gonna do our best to get it out. And the conversations that I've had with a lot of community members lately is, they would like to hear about those stories more often, right? Unfortunately, law enforcement in general, is kind of an iron curtain. And we can only talk so much
General.
details. But those details we can talk about. It's huge impact on our community and surrounding communities, so.
I would have to say the K-9 project is probably my favorite community thing that the city has been
Yeah.
involved in. I mean, it was such an organic thing that people, you know, it was truly a community project, and people
Right.
donated quickly and willingly to that project to get the money to do it, and to see it up and running so successfully is really, really heartwarming. So make sure you tell Nick that we really appreciate it, and, you know,
Yes.
Nash should get an extra treat or something.
Yes, so, other than that, last point is we started field training our part-time officer now, so hopefully he'll be up and running in the next couple months or so, depending on his availability for,
Good.
his full-time job and coming here working part-time, so.
All right, well, let him know that we appreciate efforts too. It's nice to have one more
Yeah, absolutely.
part-time. Let's see, Cable Commission, Martha, do you have anything?
Yeah, no, we attempted to have a meeting in September, but we didn't have a quorum, so we turned around and went home. So,
All right.
yeah. So our next meeting is October 22nd.
Okay. Dawn, Park Committee, nothing going there, okay. Is there anything else that I missed under committees? As if someone would like to move to adjourn,
So moved.
is there a second? Everybody wants to stay.
second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Have a good night.
What is that, the admin committee meeting?